Power is now accused of fraud and deceiving thousands of customers. That's according to an amendment added today to a class action lawsuit filed at Cumberland County Superior Court last month. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Chris Costa. The complaint filed on July 19th points to faulty meters as a likely reason for customers seeing their bills spike. Today, those lawyers now accuse the power company of training its service personnel to tell customers any charges or abnormalities in bills were the customer's fault and not CMP's.
Attorney Sumner Littman says since the class action lawsuit was filed, he's received up to 1,500 additional emails from customers and others coming forward with information about their bills. Some have received notices from CMP that their service would be disconnected.
No one from the power company has done anything to stop the disconnect notices. That's why we're here, and that's why we have a count for punitive damages, which is an opportunity for a judge or jury to say this behavior is unacceptable.
This amendment was announced yesterday, one day after CMP's CEO, Doug Herling, issued the company's first public apology. In the video, Herling says the 120-year-old company is working to gain back Mainers' trust by expanding its customer service team and making technology upgrades. Still, ratepayers like Judith Hopkins say they're not buying it.
Their apology is pathetic, absolutely pathetic. They should have offered something. You know, if they really cared, they would offer. And then people get more shut-off notices. So that's the way I feel.
A spokesperson for the power company denying the fraud allegations with a statement that reads in part, quote, "The timing of this is no less peculiar than the original complaint filed last month. It seems more like a stunt to attract attention than anything else." It goes on to say CMP representatives are trained to talk with customers and help them understand the many factors that affect energy use. In fact, many of these same points are offered on our website as a standard customer service. We have a Using Energy Wisely page for that very reason. To malign their efforts as fraud is an insult to the caring representatives who make it their mission to help people every day. Now, all of this happening as the Public Utilities Commission continues two investigations into CMP, one into its billing and customer service practices, the other its return on equity. Those investigation results are not expected for a few months. That class action lawsuit could take up to 90 days for the court to approve.
All right, switching gears now. Check this out. A police officer in the town of York found the end of not one, but two rainbows yesterday following some rain that we got.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah, it looks like the weather's starting to shape up a little bit outside. What do you say, Keith? Any more showers in the mix?
Double rainbow there. Yeah, we got a couple of showers and storms out across northern Maine. Most of us, though, dry at this hour, and a lot of these storms started to peter out in the last 15 or 20 minutes, which is kind of unusual for this time of the day, but the instability seems to be waning. Also of note that these showers and thunderstorms were the strongest towards Presque Isle, Millinocket as well. Greenville saw a nasty cell earlier today, but now there's not much more than kind of garden variety thunderstorms. I don't expect there'll be many more severe storms. And we had some storms here in through New Hampshire, but again, they basically have died out as they move towards the coastline, have dried out. We haven't seen much in the way of showers. A nice day underway here. So visible satellite, nice and clear across western Maine and central Maine, clouds across northern Maine associated with those thunderstorms. Dew points, though, are sticky, and today falls under the category of sneaky hot. We were in the low 80s, but the dew points were in the low to mid 70s, so it felt for a while like upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Hour by hour forecast, a mild night tonight, still relatively humid. Showers end after midnight, and then tomorrow we start with a few clouds, end up though with a bunch of sunshine through the afternoon. I think you're going to like how tomorrow and Friday look, guys, and we'll have a look at the weekend in just a few minutes.
Well, whether you like it or not, the conversation surrounding Border Patrol and illegal immigration is one that isn't dying down. It
has people fired up across the nation, which got us thinking, what do people here in Maine think about living on a border? Is there any controversy there? Our Samantha York wanted to find out.
Yeah, guys, so Border Patrol agents say people see what's happening in Texas and immediately assume that's how it is in Maine. Well, there's a lot of misinformation out there right now, so we wanted to see firsthand what it's like living on our northern border. Between the hundreds of miles of dense forest, winding rivers, and stretches of pavement, you'll find plenty of people living alongside our neighbors in Canada. People like Patty and Wendell Hersey. The pair have lived in this neck of the woods their entire lives and have never felt a reason to leave, despite living under constant surveillance.
You get used to it.
The couple lives near a hot spot known for illegal entry. There have been at least 11 people captured in this spot alone since 2015, which means Border Patrol agents are constantly on the lookout.
It's just our way of life, I guess.
A way of life many people across the nation continue to criticize.
You hear in the paper, on the news, the checkpoints, and they've been doing that for years. That's not anything new.
In fact, photos date back to the late 50s showing checkpoints. However, groups like the ACLU believe these practices have been put into overdrive since President Trump was elected. The civil rights advocacy group has received a number of reports from people saying the department is ramping up security and targeting minorities.
They claim the authority to search anyone, and that kind of claim invites abuse. It invites targeting disadvantaged populations or minority populations.
But the data shows a decrease in the number of apprehensions. In the last 2 decades, the number has gone from nearly 700 people to just 30. And if you break down those 30 arrests from last year by nationality, most are Canadian. The others were from Nigeria, Colombia, Dominican Republic, France, Hungary, and Trinidad and Tobago.
We don't have the volume of traffic like they do on south. Down south, and there's some stations down there where they would arrest, 200 people in a shift. We don't have that volume.
The people who live here say it doesn't take long to see that. But despite having less illegal traffic, agents are staying vigilant.
There's a lot of cameras around.
Blaine Lincoln's family has been on this land for 4 generations. He remembers when his house was only one of a handful in the area, surrounded by desolate farmland. Over the years, things like sensors and cameras have been installed to help keep an eye out when Border Patrol can't.
It is a fine line. I will say I'm not very happy. I can't get to my house without being photographed.
However, Lincoln was recently reminded why Border Patrol keeps a close watch.
There's 3 people walking down the road with backpacks on, and I said to myself, this doesn't fit. These people don't belong here. They were young. We're a lot of Amish. I know everybody in the neighborhood. So I came back, immediately called the guy I know at the Border Patrol. Turns out they jumped the border. There were 3 felons from Canada. You'd like to say not have the border cameras there, but when you see something like that, you got to be humble.
While something like this has never happened to the Herseys, they know it's not uncommon.
I don't think people think it happens as much as it does. You just don't hear about it every time it happens.
Saying despite the pushback from people across the nation, when it comes to protecting their home and yards, they would rather be safe than sorry.
The people that get up in arms about all that, they're just doing their job. They're here to protect us, and that's part of doing their job.
So this morning we asked you at home if you felt Border Patrol was overstepping in Maine. So far, 69% of you feel that they aren't, but there's still time to vote. So go to pulse.newscentermaine.com to cast your vote, or you can open up the Pulse section of our app. Tomorrow, Zach and I are going to wrap up our series. The Border Patrol series. We're going to introduce you guys to the people at Customs in Calais. And while I just have a quick second here, I want to give another shout out to Blaine, who you saw in my piece, who saved our life when we popped our tire in Holton.
It seems like the Border Patrol agents have him to thank too for something, because he spoke up when he needed to.
Yep, they have great relationships up there too, which I think really helps them. But yeah, great guy.
Awesome.
Thank you.
After the break, we'll continue our discussion about the overdose reversal drug naloxone. Is it free?
And later, we have a very special guest in-house, the Maine Mariners mascot. Stick around.
I'll let you take that one.
I know, that's fine. Hey guys, so we had a great conversation yesterday. By great, I mean like it was, a lot of you were talking about Chris's story from yesterday about naloxone, Narcan, and the prices, and so we thought, you know what, there really isn't a simple answer, so Chris looked into it today.
Right, so a lot of the discussion yesterday came about the accessibility, the availability of this drug. What is the availability? Some people had thought perhaps it was free. Another woman said, no, it's not. So, okay, well, let's figure out what the answer is. So what we discovered is that it's not ever truly free, as you can understand. If somebody gets it for free, it's usually through a grant of some kind. A lot of the first responders get it for a discounted price and so on and so forth. So it was a really interesting topic to discuss because there's a lot of people who are critical who say that, you know, somebody who is given a revival through naloxone is going to just
it's going to enable them to do it again, knowing that they can be saved. Yeah.
Right, and there are some flaws with that argument in itself, but it was an interesting topic, and so people were concerned that if people are going to keep using it over and over and over again, that's a cost to our first responders, and then ultimately our cities, our budgets and taxpayers were paying for that. So I wanted to look into that to figure out how exactly does this all shake out.
A lot of you are weighing in on the CMP conversation today. Jess writes, what about the people who didn't receive bills for months and that say they had a zero balance when they really didn't, which in turn gives them an outrageous bill to try to pay and try to dodge shut-off notices. Are we both going over there?
I think it's just me.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then... Carrie says, I'm not too happy with CMP. My bill has been really low. I always pay my bill, and it just went through the roof. I sit in the dark all day, never have the AC on. Then my bill says no payment month before when I pay the bill. They need to figure this crap out. Not right. All right, guys. I am reading all your comments, but we're getting back to the show.
There are new questions about the price of the overdose reversal drug naloxone after a story we ran yesterday about the price of the medicine. It got many of you talking on our Facebook and YouTube live streams. It all started when Shelley West said Narcan is not free. Many people started talking about whether that's true and the pros and cons of it being free. The answer to that question is a little tricky, so we went to the experts. When first responders get a call of an overdose, one of their first steps is giving naloxone, usually through a nasal spray like Narcan.
Now, we're not here to pass judgment. We're here to save lives.
That service is not free, though, and the question of who pays for it can often come down to if first responders take the patient to the hospital.
Again, a lot of the patients that we do end up giving Narcan to refuse further treatment and or transport to the hospital. So most of the time we are not receiving payment for Narcan delivery.
If a person is transported to the hospital, first responders can bill both public and private insurances like Anthem or Aetna. If the patient refuses transport, first responders can only bill private insurance. Public companies will not pay, leaving anyone else with a bill. Then there are some people with no insurance at all. If they don't pay, it's a debt to the city and ultimately the taxpayer. While first responders get the materials for a discount, that's another cost that goes into the budget.
We try to make that medication available to people who may need it.
Milestone Recovery Executive Director Bob Fowler says the detox facility receives free naloxone injectors through grants.
Pull off red safety guard.
They often give them out to people in the community who may know someone who's likely to overdose.
Everybody is somebody's son or daughter. You know, having this life-saving medication available is critically important.
So for some people, yes, naloxone is, in a sense, free, but as a way to save others and get them the help they need.
And we really need to work on finding resources and making sure that individuals get treatment.
So they have these auto-injectable trainers. They come with these step-by-step audio instructions. You can kind of hear that a little bit. Hold it up to the microphone.
Right.
And it can help anybody deliver naloxone to someone who's overdosing. So really, really interesting that they've made this user-friendly because
it's hard to gather your thoughts.
So you can kind of get a sense of it walking you through step by step. But the point being, the opioid epidemic has become so widespread that they've needed to create devices like this that anybody who's not necessarily a trained medical professional can use.
I know. I hope I never have to use that, but it is reassuring to know that it will talk you through the step-by-step process if you need it.
Yep, pretty cool.
All right, after the break, Keith Carson has some bright and shiny news, actually, in his full forecast. Okay, so real quick, I want to bring up, we hear a lot about, you know, a lot of anger towards CMP. But Ann says, you don't suppose the rise in bills had anything to do with the windstorms, power outages, 16-hour shifts and horrible weather to restore it while people sat home and complained. Jess says, also, how about fixing problems in Maine before offering services in Massachusetts? Offering electricity to low-income families think they will be able to afford CMP's insane charges. Wow, so Jessica saw her bill go from $60 to $400. All right, we are taking a walk to the newsroom because we have a special guest.
Let's move this back. There you go. All right, which side do they want us on versus our guests?
Do we want the light or no?
Okay, I'll go over there.
I think we do, yeah. Yeah? Okay. Sweet. And then am I going here too?
Yes, we're standing on this side.
Perfect.
You want to ask the second? Since I read that,
yeah,
I'll read the
off.
first one and then you read the second one?
Perfect.
Cool, that works. Getting shout outs already?
I love the gold on the beak. That's cool. That's really cool.
You can take a picture.
So we're going to start in a two-shot.
I loved all the little guys.
Okay, cool.
All the little mites playing this
Here,
morning.
we gotta get close. Pretend like we like each other.
Do I need it?
Yeah.
I think so. Really? Okay, I'll be RB. I'll be RB. Ah, yes! Thank you! Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's embarrassing.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Right.
Lindsay?
Yeah.
We're starting on two-shot, you and Chris, and then we're going to open.
What's
Thank
that?
you.
He wants you to take the quarter step towards Adam. There you go.
Perfect.
Oh, what? All right, here we go.
All week and all morning we've had people guessing. We've sent some pictures out there, but now we are finally going to reveal the new Maine Mariners mascot. And I have some help from Biddeford Youth Hockey. They're here holding a pretty awesome banner. Todd has joined the team, obviously. He wants to be part of the team. Awesome. So are you guys ready? Yeah! All right, let's count it down, guys. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
And there you have it, some cute mites there with the big reveal. So in case you missed it this morning, the Maine Mariners have announced their new mascot, Beacon the Puffin, and he's here with us right now.
Very, very glad to have Beacon and Adam Goldberg, who's the Vice President of Business Operations for the Maine Mariners, joining us. So Adam, how did you guys come up with the Puffin as the mascot? I think I know the answer to this question.
Well, the Puffin was one of the top 5 names that got submitted to be the team name. We obviously went with the Mariners, but Puffin was always sort of in the back of our mind of how can we bring that back up, and when the topic of mascot came up, Puffin was right there, right in front of us.
How much feedback did you get from the public about Puffin as a strong second choice? Because this is quite it's a bold move.
It's very colorful, but it also ties back in with Maine. The Atlantic Puffin is native to Maine, so we wanted something that was local and tied to the state. So it all just seemed to work together.
Awesome.
Now, will Beacon be out there skating, getting the crowd pumped up at the first game in October?
Yes, October 13th is our home opener, and Beacon is the #1 fan, so he's going to be out there on the ice. He'll be pumping up the crowd, bringing the fun. So everything that he can, that he can do off the ice, he'll be doing it. So.
And staying true to tradition here in Maine, the colors, if you want to talk about those a little bit, the green and the blue.
Yeah, this is our game logo, our logo here, and with our jersey. So as you can see, Beacon, the name, comes from a beacon with the lighthouse, where you can see in the M here.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's a little hidden piece of the logo. So cool. A beacon from the lighthouse, a beak for the bird.
Play on words.
Yeah,
right.
And we got the Old Mariners, a callback to the Old Mariners logo here, cool. And then the state on the other shoulder. So there's a lot going on in not only the logo but the jersey itself. So we really think it looks sharp.
And it sounds like there's a chance for fans who want to meet Beacon before the home game, right?
That's right. Well, Beacon's going to be out and about as much as possible. We want Beacon to be singing the praises of the Mariners. So he's going to be at the Bruins Fan Fest on Friday. He's going to be at Biddeford Youth Hockey on Saturday. So the schedule is going to fill up quickly. We want to see Beacon out and about.
Cool. And if you want to have Beacon come to your event, you can fill out a request form online. Now, have you been working on your celebration dance for when they score goals? Oh, yeah. I love it.
Adam Goldberg and Beacon, thank you so much for stopping by our newsroom. We love it. Let's check in with Keith now for the forecast.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we got a couple of showers and thunderstorms out there, and just one that just turned severe up towards Presque Isle. Most of these have been dying down over the past half hour or so, but as you can see up towards Presque Isle, we do have a severe thunderstorm that's warned, and it's likely because of hail. There's not much wind in most of these cells, and then more garden variety showers and thunderstorms that are moving through out of Holton here and on the way over the border. Elsewhere, the showers have died down for the most part. We haven't seen as much activity. It's kind of run into, I guess, what's a little bit more stable air, which is interesting because it's been relatively humid here almost statewide. But these showers and storms just didn't make it to the coastline. We've seen a nice day as far as sunshine goes, one of the nicer ones we've seen in a while along the coast, and will be clear through the first half of tonight, at least in the mountains and along the coastline. Those showers and storms stay to our north. Dew points sticky out there, 70 in Portland, 74 in Sanford, and 70 in Freiburg. So once again into that oppressive range, and we're keeping track of those dew points, and we're now tied for third most sticky summer, if you will, at 26 days of a dew point of 70 or above. Keep in mind, we've got through October to add. We just need 3 more to tie the stickiest summer and 4 more to beat it. Probably going to happen. I mean, we got lots of time left here, so we're going to be up there for one of the stickiest summers on record, no matter how you measure it. Hour by hour forecast showing you these showers and thunderstorms tonight. By about midnight, we should be done with them. We start with a little cloud cover tomorrow, but the rest of the day is sunny and beautiful, upper 70s, low 80s through tomorrow afternoon. And then Friday, we start with a lot of sunshine, but a system approaches by Friday afternoon, so we end up with more clouds later in the day. And then a few showers come in, probably looking at about 5 or 6 p.m. for most of us. These showers move in, they continue overnight, and then we should be able to clear them out by Saturday mid-morning. Saturday afternoon should be pretty good. I gotta give Jess credit for this. This is like an ultimate trolling move, guys. She made this graphic yesterday, which is just the worst, until when snow is in different spots, basically, for Caribou. Obviously, Caribou has an early first snow and the first day of winter. Thanksgiving I'm not as offended by in general, because at least there's some food involved there. But something to think about if you don't like summer and it's been so sticky. Nice on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday look good as well. Guys, I actually don't see any big heat in the forecast, although we are humid. There's no temperatures of over 85, for example, in the next 10 days. So I guess that's why you think about snow if you're sick like that. If
Beacon's probably very excited about the cooler temps.
Yeah, Beacon. So is that the dance that he's going to do?
Is it the celly, baby?
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. And there's got to be, I think as a mascot, you got to be a good dancer, because Slugger has put that down as like a requirement. So we'll have to see.
Throwing down the glass.
See what the moves are.
He has the time of his life.
Yeah, he does.
A lot more news coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Let's check in now with Cindy Williams with a preview. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. We do have a lot coming up. Security at Central Maine Community College in Auburn has been beefed up after a former student allegedly threatened to shoot up the school. Well, now the man who made those threats is out on bail. Plus, a new report suggests many of us are not reaching for sunscreen as often as we ought to. The CDC says Maine is one of the leading states in new cases of skin cancer. We're also short on the number of doctors who can treat it. Those stories and much more ahead at 5:30. Back to you.
All right, Cindy, thanks so much. Brain drops after the break.
Can you share your athlete story?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
So, this is so embarrassing.
Oh no.
So I went to the gym this morning.
Okay.
It didn't last very long.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say that's getting there is half the battle.
Yep. But I was warming up.
Yep.
And part of my warm up is lateral shuffles.
Okay.
With change of direction.
I make my girls do that.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like a diagonal shuffle with change of direction.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you kind of go to 45, 45, 45 zigzag.
Oh.
Which is not a big deal, but like by my third time through, I'm like, okay, I should probably try to, give it some effort. You know what I mean? Not just kind of walk through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried, and I caught an edge, and I just rolled my ankle.
You roll your ankle?
Like,
oh, is it swollen?
Let's see. I've had like grapefruit sized, maybe
so
like Granny Smith apple sized swelling.
Seen?
Yeah, we're probably talking like golf ball or tennis ball.
That's just a nuisance.
Yep. So yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard for me to do any sellies.
Please, thank you. That's a bummer.
I'm walking. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where like you're kind of getting in. You know what I mean? Like you get to the gym, you're kind of warming up, you're getting in the zone, and then all of a sudden,
boom.
You know what slowed me down a little is like I've still done pretty good since we've had Luca, but I don't tend to set an alarm because I assume that. Okay. So I tend to, since I don't set an alarm, you assume he's going to wake you up. But sometimes Paula will sneak out of bed and get him up, and then I sleep to the point where I'm like, oh, like even 7:30 is too late for me.
Sure, right.
Because then Paula takes Luca to daycare at 9, and I don't have a car, and that's the end of that's the end of that. So I'm like, it's kind of weird. I might have to start actually setting an alarm, which is a good problem to have with a baby, but.
Yeah.
Can we see the pulse in the monitor?
Yeah, you'll be able to see it in maybe this one.
Well, shouldn't we see something in these monitors?
I don't know, maybe that one.
Do you want to do pulse or do you want me to?
Definitely this one.
Whatever you want.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
What was the question?
Is it me?
What's the pulse thing?
Is the Border Patrol in Maine overstepping? Is it doing too much?
Didn't they not arrest many people though?
Only 30 people, yeah.
Any less, you wonder what happened any more how many people there.
Just don't see the results anywhere.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We have a pulse question going on right now. Actually, I can see it right here. Does Border Patrol have too much power in Maine? Right now, 73% of you say no agent should do whatever it takes to enforce the law. 27% say yes, its reach should be more restricted. Well, there you go.
What do you have for brain drops for us today, Keith?
I was running over, making sure you guys could see.
Thank you, but I found this awesome monitor up behind us.
That's actually just so we can look at the back of Coco's head. That's it. Okay.
Not much to see.
Today, do we have the video first, or is this the one we're going to start with? The video is really cool. Okay, she's pulling it up right now. This, you're going to see this in motion.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain what we're looking at here. So NASA's looking a little bit more into thunderstorms with what they call updraft plumes or cirrus plumes. And so you're looking down onto a storm here from above. And this is an updraft. This is the plume of cirrus. So when you see it in motion, you'd see it trailing behind, almost like the wake of a boat in the opposite direction of the storm motion. The reason these are important is because they found they signal strongly the most severe storms in the country. So whenever there's been an updraft plume, there's been a much higher chance of tornadoes, and the incidence with EF2 and above tornadoes is extremely high. Let's see if we have the video. I think. Oh, we don't have it. Okay. All right. Well, regardless, it's cool in motion because it has that like kind of ripple effect. But in any event, what you're looking at here is this is the top of the storm, and it overshoots. So the concept here is the air is rising so rapidly, it punches out of the tropopause, out of the troposphere into the stratosphere, and then cirrus trails behind it. So basically, this is a new way that they're looking at storms. The advantage and the key to all of this is they're finding these cirrus overdrafts about 10 minutes before the first warnings are being issued on the storms. And so they might be able to, there's the video up there, you might be able to warn people before tornadoes actually occur, knowing that if you see this pattern, see how it's flowing like water, that this storm is likely really nasty underneath it. So I thought that was interesting, and it's a good way, anytime you can warn people even 5, 6, 7 minutes more,
makes a huge difference.
It's a big difference.
All right, Keith, thanks so much. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for your discussions and for voting in our Pulse poll. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.